Hi everyone, today we are going to do something different. I've always wanted to encourage people to go into their kitchens and cook, and not to think of cooking as a difficult and daunting task, but one that is enjoyable and rewarding. To do so, I've decided to document and share my own learning experiences. So this channel was never meant to hold finished, polished products, as there are just too many channels out there. Instead, I want to show the sort of rind and grind of learning how to cook, and especially how to cook Chinese food. To kick off this initiative, here's a video of my first attempt at Shandong roast chicken, Shandong烧鸡. Enjoy! Traditionally, this dish is a roast chicken dish where the whole chicken is salted, blanched, and rubbed with soy sauce and hung to dry before roasting. The approach I'm using today is more home cooking friendly, and that it involves a smaller cut of chicken. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fry on high heat to achieve a similar skin texture as roasting. Here I'm using a family pack of chicken thighs. I prefer using chicken that has bones for this dish, simply because we will be using the chicken juices in our seasoning sauce later on, and with bones you'll get a more flavorful sauce. I'll be cooking my chicken thighs in 2 batches because I have a huge family pack, so my seasoning will also be separated in 2 batches. For seasoning, I've seen some recipes that use star anise, but most of them use Sichuan peppercorns. You may wonder, what's Sichuan peppercorns doing in a northern dish on the other side of China? Well, the role of the peppercorns in this case is to impart its fragrance. We won't be eating them for their numminess, which means they will be removed later on in the cooking process. Next, we have a few slices of ginger and about 3 cloves of garlic. This is a northern dish, and people in the north like to eat raw garlic. So you'll often see a practice where half the garlic is cooked with the dish and the other half is added at the end. With garlic and ginger, the last brother is green onions. Here I chop them into small pieces, but for this dish you can leave them in longer pieces if you wish. As with everything else, the green onions will be removed at the end of the cooking process, so I wouldn't chop them too finely. And finally, I'm going to add a little bit of Shaoxing cooking wine to add to the fragrance. The sauce is a generic Chinese style sauce with soy sauce, sesame oil, vinegar, and sugar in a roughly 1:1 to 3:1 ratio. In this dish, you want the balance of vinegar and sugar to be a little bit more towards vinegar for a bit of tanginess rather than being equal. You can also opt to use less sesame oil because there will be some grease from the chicken skin. Once the seasoning and the sauce are prepared, your first step is to prepare the chicken. You don't necessarily need to trim the fat, but I do so to get a little bit less greasy outcome. Just don't chop off too much skin. Next, rub your chicken with soy sauce. Using a darker soy sauce is better. The idea is not so much to marinate into the meat, but to add color and flavor to the skin so that when you fry it, it becomes crispy. Next, make sure your pan oil is very hot. Be careful when adding the chicken, and add your chicken skin side down. Here I use quite a bit of oil but I think it's possible to do this with much less oil, but making sure that the pan is very hot. I only fried the skin side down, but you can also fry the other side. Again, the main idea is just to color the chicken, not to cook it completely. Colored chicken has cooled enough to handle, add your seasoning. You might find it easier to have the seasoning sit on the flesh side rather than on the smoother skin side. Since I don't have a steamer, I'm using an improvised setup. You can use a rice cooker to avoid the hassle. Steam for about 30 minutes or until the juices run dry. The saucy and greasy chicken is often paired with a cool and crisp bed of smashed cucumber. There's a joke that people in the north are more straightforward and practical. So instead of slicing the cucumber, a common practice is to just smack it. In fact, you don't even have to peel it. Unfortunately, the large cucumbers I'm using are not quite prone to smacking. The seeds are usually removed as they contain a lot of water, which makes the cucumber less crispy, but you can leave them in if you wish. When your chicken has cooled, remove all the seasoning, the peppercorns, the garlic, ginger, and the green onions. Then, shred the chicken and lay it on the cucumber bed. Take the chicken juices and add them to your sauce along with the raw garlic. Then drizzle this combined sauce on your chicken. To experience the northern style of eating this dish, you can make some green onion pancakes or just any kind of flatbread. Of course, you can also eat this with rice as the chicken sauce has amazing flavor. Since this was my first time making this dish, there will not be a technical summary as I still have to experiment and learn the technicalities of the dish. So that's all for now, see you next time.